Have you ever had the feeling that life is going in circles? As if all your efforts were in vain and things just weren't moving forward? Well, I'm going to tell you something that few people know, but that could change everything in 2025. And no, this isn't about working harder or pushing yourself beyond your limit. It's about adjusting something much deeper, your internal frequency. It sounds simple, but the truth is that most people are stuck in energy patterns that sabotage their own lives without even realizing it. And do you know what the big controversy here is? It's not about what you do, but who you are inside. Jacobo Grinberg, one of the greatest scholars of the human mind, discovered something fascinating. Your external reality is just a direct reflection of your internal energy. This means that by changing your vibration, you can change everything around you, from relationships to finances, health, and even your happiness. Does it seem too good to be true? Stay here with me, and I'll show you how this works. Don't worry, you don't need to become a monk or abandon your current life to apply what I'm going to teach you. All you need is a little attention, because the tools we're going to explore are simple and powerful. Want to know the best? They work for anyone, regardless of where you are on your journey. Imagine ending the next year looking back and realizing that your life has taken a giant leap forward, and all because you decided to listen. Sounds like a bold promise, doesn't it? So come and find out how this can be 100% guaranteed. Have you ever stopped to think that your reality is a mirror? Yes, a perfect reflection of what happens inside you. It's not just a pretty idea, but a principle that permeates both spirituality and science. It all starts with the energy you carry. Jacobo Grinberg, a fascinating scholar, has explored how our mind interacts with universal energy to form the experience of life. And do you know the most interesting thing? This energy is not something distant or mystical, but the sum of your emotions, thoughts, and beliefs. When you wake up feeling inspired, it seems like the day flows, doesn't it? Now think about the opposite. Those days when you carry a heavy cloud, well, internal energy dictates everything. Now imagine life as a radio. If your frequency is tuned to the wrong station, you will only hear noise and distortion. This is exactly how your energy works. When you are out of alignment, challenging situations arise as an echo of that misalignment. Jacobo Grinberg stated that our perception shapes reality, and this is not just philosophy, it is science. Try observing how your thoughts affect your day. For example, if you approach a problem thinking, this always goes wrong, guess what? You probably will. But if you think, I will solve this, the chances of success increase drastically. This internal energy is like a river. Sometimes it flows smoothly. Others, you encounter stones along the way. It is essential to understand that the stones are part of the process, but they do not define the flow. The energy you carry is constantly changing. Let's think about something practical. How about starting the day by writing down 3 things you're grateful for? It sounds simple, but it helps realign your energy and focus on the positive. Such a small gesture can be the starting point to transform everything else. And here comes a fascinating point. You are the architect of your vibration. Imagine that each thought is a brick, each emotion, the cement, and the internal energy, the structure of your home. What you build is up to you. Jacobo Grinberg suggested that by understanding how our mind interacts with the quantum field, we can literally recreate our reality. It doesn't have to be something big right away. Start small. Change your perspective on a simple situation, like a traffic delay. Instead of complaining, use the time to listen to something inspiring or simply breathe deeply. Never forget that your energy is malleable. No matter how you started the day, you can always give new meaning. Remember that feeling of inspiration I mentioned? It is accessible at any time. Just adjust your internal radio. And that's when things start to get even more interesting. After all, if your internal energy dictates your reality, what happens when you change your frequency? Everything in the universe vibrates, without exception. It sounds poetic, but it is a scientific reality that shapes life on profound levels. Jacobo Grinberg explored how the vibrations we emanate directly affect our experience. Think of a song. If the melody is harmonious, it touches the heart. If it is dissonant, it causes discomfort. Your internal frequency works the same way. When you vibrate at a high frequency, full of gratitude, joy, and purpose. The world seems to open up, conspiring in your favor. But when the frequency drops and you are filled with doubt or anger, everything around you begins to feel blurred, as if the universe is out of whack. Have you ever noticed how certain places or people have good energy? This is not a figment of the imagination. In fact, it is a reflection of the frequencies that emanate. Therefore, it is important to observe how you feel in different environments. If a place makes you feel heavy, maybe it's time to reevaluate what it means to you. And the same goes for people. Whoever is around you directly impacts your vibration. Jacobo Grinberg argued that our perception is as influenced by the external as the internal, creating a cycle of energy that, when harmonized, transforms reality. To understand the power of this frequency, think of your thoughts as seeds. If you plant ideas of fear and doubt, what will you reap? Exactly, more fear and doubt. But if you nurture positive and empowering thoughts, you begin to attract situations aligned with this energy. And you don't need to blindly believe in this to test it. Try it. When faced with a challenge, pause, take a deep breath, and say to yourself, I can overcome this. You will notice a subtle but powerful change in the way you deal with the problem. And how to increase this frequency? There are simple practices that make a tremendous difference. Meditation, for example, is a powerful tool. Dedicate 5 minutes a day to quiet your mind and focus on your breathing. Additionally, listening to music that uplifts the spirit, such as nature sounds or soothing instruments, can be transformative. Jacobo Grinberg emphasized the role of mindfulness in shaping reality. So how about starting today? Take a moment in your day to observe your thoughts without judgment and see how it changes your vibration. But here's the secret. Raising your frequency is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing practice. Just as a musician tunes his instrument daily, you need to constantly adjust its vibration. The process may seem challenging at first, but the results are undeniable. And once you master this internal flow, something magical happens. The world begins to reflect the best of you, creating a perfect connection between what you feel and what you experience. The internal frequency is like a river in constant motion. At times, it flows smoothly, almost like a harmonious dance with the universe. In others, it encounters obstacles that seem to divert its course. And you know what's amazing? This dynamism is the key to growth. Jacobo Grinberg explored how energy fluctuations are part of the human experience, and understanding this changes everything. We are not destined for a single, immutable frequency. On the contrary, the secret is learning to surf these waves of energy, even when the sea is rough. Imagine an everyday situation. You have a busy day, and something unexpected happens, perhaps a delay, a criticism, or a conflict. Your internal frequency plummets, and this is normal. The crucial point is what you do with it. Instead of drowning in negativity, ask yourself, how can I turn this experience into something positive? A simple practice like shifting your focus to something you can control helps redirect energy. Jacobo Grinberg used to say that the mind, when well trained, is capable of reinterpreting any event in a way that contributes to growth. This dynamic flow is a dance between what you feel and how you react. Aligning thoughts and emotions with positivity does not mean ignoring challenges, but rather creating an approach that respects the moment and transforms it. A practical example? Start by writing, at the end of the day, a small report of the good things that happened, even if they seem insignificant. Something like, today a colleague made me smile, or I managed to complete a difficult task. These small practices help shape your internal frequency, gradually raising it. And of course, it's impossible to talk about flow without mentioning the importance of releasing. Attachment to negative emotions blocks frequency movement. Think of it as a dam that impedes the natural flow of the river. To release, try activities like walks outside or even a good conversation with someone you trust. Jacobo Grinberg pointed out that moments of introspection and self-care are essential to keep the flow of energy in tune. It's like adjusting the strings of an instrument. It requires patience, but the result is a much more pleasant melody. Finally, remember that by adjusting your frequency, you are not only shaping your reality, but also influencing those around you. Energy is contagious. When you elevate yours, you inspire others to do the same, creating a virtuous cycle. And it is at this point that the power of dynamic frequency flow begins to transform, not just isolated moments, but your entire perception of life. The next step? Discover how we are the true creators of this vibrant reality. Imagine yourself as an artist facing a blank canvas. Every thought, every emotion is a brushstroke that makes up the picture of your life. The power to create one's reality is not just a metaphor. It is an intrinsic ability in all of us. Jacobo Grinberg delved deeply into this concept, showing how our mind interacts with the quantum field to shape experiences. And the most fascinating thing? You are already the author of this work, even if you don't realize it yet. The question is, what does the picture you are painting look like now? Think about an average day. When you wake up, your first actions already set the tone for the day. If you start complaining or procrastinating, your color palette tends to reflect darker tones. Now try the opposite. Wake up, take a deep breath, and take 2 minutes to visualize something positive you want to achieve. This simple gesture can be transformative, as it puts you in the active role of creator. Jacobo Grinberg believed that clear intention is the most powerful tool for shaping reality, and that doesn't require major changes, just a small adjustment in the way you see the world. And like any great artist, you need the right tools. Your internal energy is the main one. When you are aligned with your values and purposes, every choice you make becomes a conscious stroke. A practical example? If you want more harmony in your relationships, ask yourself, what kind of energy am I putting into these connections? Sometimes all it takes is a kind gesture or a word of encouragement to completely change the dynamic. Jacobo Grinberg used to say that small acts of consciousness create waves that transform the field around us. Another important point is to understand that errors are part of the process. Just as a painter can smudge the canvas, you will also encounter times when your creation doesn't turn out as expected. And it's okay. These blots are opportunities to learn and adjust. For example, if a project at work didn't work out, instead of giving up, analyze what can be improved and try again. Remember that reality is not fixed. It is fluid and responds to your intentions. Jacobo Grinberg argued that mental resilience is the key to continuing to paint, even in the face of challenges. Finally, when you begin to see life as a work of art in constant construction, you realize that control is in your hands. Of course, there are external influences, like the studio light conditions, but in the end, the composition is yours. Each color chosen, each detail inserted, reflects what you carry internally. And when you master this skill, something magical happens. The universe seems to align with your purpose, delivering unexpected strokes of inspiration. And by mastering this art, you begin to build the fundamental pillars that support a high frequency. To raise your internal frequency and transform your reality, you need to build a solid foundation. Imagine that this foundation is made up of 5 pillars: beliefs, emotions, focus, identity, and conviction. Each of them sustains your energy, and together they shape your vibration in powerful ways. Jacobo Grinberg explored how these elements interact, showing that small changes in each one can have a huge impact on your life. The secret is understanding how to use them to your advantage, adjusting them as you would when building a house, with care, patience, and purpose. The first pillar is beliefs. We often carry limiting thoughts that prevent us from reaching our potential. I'm not good enough, or this will never work out, are like invisible cracks in this structure. To transform these beliefs, start by identifying them. For example, if you believe you can't achieve a goal because you've never been successful before, question that idea. Does this really define who I am? Replace it with something empowering, like, I have the ability to learn and grow. A good practice is to write your new beliefs in a diary, repeating them daily to reprogram your mind. The second pillar is emotions. What you feel determines the energy you emit. Negative emotions, like anger or guilt, vibrate at lower frequencies and can drain your energy. To raise your emotional vibration, cultivate positive thoughts that resonate with joy, gratitude, and love. Try, for example, the practice of gratitude. At the end of the day, write down 3 things you felt grateful for. It doesn't have to be anything grand. Even a smile received can be enough. Jacobo Grinberg believed that positive emotion has the power to alter the perception of reality, making it more aligned with your desires. The third pillar, focus, is where the magic happens. What you put your attention on expands. So why not direct your focus to solutions and opportunities? If you're facing a challenge, instead of fixating on the problem, ask yourself, what can I learn or do to solve this? For example, if your finances are tight, dedicate time to learning about financial literacy. Reading books like Rich Dad, Poor Dad can completely change your outlook. Jacobo Grinberg emphasized that targeted focus is like a flashlight in the dark, illuminating the path you want to follow. The fourth pillar is identity. Who you believe you are directly shapes your frequency. If you define yourself as unlucky, this belief creates a corresponding vibration. But if you adopt a higher identity, as someone who is resilient, capable, and creative, your energy adjusts to that vision. How about starting today by saying, I am capable of making my dreams come true? Jacobo Grinberg explored the relationship between self-image and the quantum field, showing that redefining who we are is one of the most powerful steps to creating change. Finally, the fifth pillar is conviction. It is not enough to believe superficially. You need to feel, with all your strength, that your dreams are possible. Emotional conviction is the fuel that drives your actions. Try visualizing your goals as if they were already real. Imagine the details, the colors, the sounds, the sensations. Make this a daily habit. Jacobo Grinberg highlighted that when the mind and heart are aligned, the universe responds, creating opportunities where there were only obstacles before. And so, with these pillars, you begin to structure the basis to navigate the natural fluctuations of life with more lightness and purpose. Frequency fluctuations are like tides, inevitable but absolutely manageable. No one is always at their peak, and that's okay. Jacobo Grinberg believed that these ups and downs are not obstacles, but essential parts of the path, offering us moments of introspection and self-knowledge. When frequency drops, it may seem like the entire universe is against you, but in reality, it's an opportunity in disguise to adjust your course. Imagine a compass that guides you. Sometimes you need to stop and recalibrate before moving forward. When in a low-frequency state, the first step is acceptance. Resisting or blaming yourself only prolongs the discomfort. Think of it like a storm. Instead of trying to fight the rain, you can seek shelter and wait for it to pass. A practical example is the practice of conscious breathing. Take 2 minutes to close your eyes and inhale deeply, focusing only on the air moving in and out of your body. This simple action calms the nervous system and helps rebalance your energy. Jacobo Grinberg argued that inner silence is one of the most powerful tools for regaining alignment. Another important point is to give new meaning to what you feel. Emotions such as sadness or frustration are not enemies, but messengers. They are showing you something that needs to be worked on. Instead of running away from these emotions, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? For example, if you're unmotivated about work, it could be a sign that something needs to change. Perhaps an honest conversation with a colleague or boss, or even a new perspective on your responsibilities. Using these fluctuations as teachers turns challenges into opportunities for growth. And when frequency is low, surrounding yourself with the right things makes all the difference. Imagine that your energy is like a plant. During more difficult periods, she needs more care and nutrients. Read something inspiring, like The Power of Now, or seek company from people who uplift you. Jacobo Grinberg believed in the power of the environment to shape our vibration. So allow yourself to choose scenarios that make you feel lighter and more connected. Even listening to music you love can be a way to subtly raise your frequency. Finally, remember that no tide is permanent. Even the most challenging moments hold the promise of change. Each low-frequency state is a preparation for something greater, a reminder that life is made of cycles. And the beautiful thing is that by understanding and embracing these fluctuations, you begin to navigate life with more confidence and fluidity. And When you get back on your feet, you realize that there are simple and practical steps that can help you raise your frequency to even greater levels. Raising frequency is not just a beautiful concept. It is a practice that can be incorporated into everyday life, bringing real and tangible changes. Jacobo Grinberg deeply explored how the balance between mind, emotions, and intentions puts us in a high vibrational state. And the most interesting thing is that you don't need a radical transformation to start. Small, consistent actions, taken with purpose, are enough to create a significant impact. Think of it as planting seeds. With care and dedication, they become leafy trees. One of the simplest yet incredibly powerful steps is mindfulness. Take 5 minutes in the morning to sit quietly and notice your breathing. Nothing more. Just breathe in and out, feeling each movement. This practice helps calm your mind and adjust your energy for the day. If you prefer something more guided, apps like Headspace or Calm can be great allies. Jacobo Grinberg believed that by quieting the mind, we make space to connect with higher frequencies, those that are aligned with our deepest desires. Another practical step is creative visualization. Take a few minutes out of your day to imagine, in detail, what it would be like to live the life you want. Don't just visualize, feel what it would be like. For example, if you want more financial stability, visualize yourself paying your bills with ease, buying what you want, and even helping others. Feel the joy and peace it brings. This practice not only adjusts your frequency, but also guides your actions toward achieving those goals. Jacobo Grinberg pointed out that the aligned mind and heart create a magnetic field that attracts corresponding experiences. And we cannot forget the power of reflection. Take time to observe your thought and behavior patterns. Where are you putting your energy? For example, if you notice that you spend a lot of time complaining about something, try changing your focus. Replace the complaint with a practical question. What can I do to make this better? Write these reflections in a journal. This simple practice not only clears your mind, but also helps you identify areas that need adjustment. It's like cleaning the lens through which you see the world. Lastly, create a daily ritual that brings you joy. It could be something small, like drinking a coffee while listening to your favorite music, or something bigger, like dedicating 30 minutes to an activity that inspires you, like painting or dancing. These moments of pleasure naturally raise your frequency. Jacobo Grinberg highlighted that genuine pleasure, aligned with conscious intentions, creates a vibration of harmony that positively affects your entire reality. When you adopt these steps as part of your routine, raising your frequency stops being an effort and becomes a natural state. Now that you know how your internal energy influences absolutely everything in your life, the question that remains is, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Will you continue to allow misaligned thoughts and emotions to control your reality? Or will you take the reins and create the life you truly want? Jacobo Grinberg showed us that transformation begins within us, but only happens for those who have the courage to take the first step. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Each small action aligned with the frequency you want to achieve is like a piece of a puzzle that, when completed, reveals the image of the life you have always dreamed of. And don't worry if the path seems uncertain at times. After all, the biggest changes start with a single step, and that step can be today. How about starting by trying one of the practices we talked about, like mindfulness or creative visualization? It doesn't have to be complicated. It just needs to be true. Now I want to hear from you. What is stopping you from living at the frequency of your dreams? What beliefs, emotions, or habits are you willing to transform so that 2025 is your turning point? Write in the comments and share your ideas. This is the space for us to exchange experiences and grow together. Oh, and if you want to continue learning about how to adjust your frequency and create an extraordinary life, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way, you don't miss out on any content that could literally change your life. Remember, the power of transformation is in your hands. Don't let another year pass without making the decisions that can take you to the next level. The time to act is now. See you in the next video.